Hi, welcome back to the farm. My name's Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and you'll find me here each week talking about my farming and creative life. 2 weeks ago now, in episode 35, I mentioned that I was going away on a holiday. So since then I have gone and I've come back. I was away from the farm for about a week, so there was a few things to catch up on when we got back. While I was away, the foal was born. So we are excited that little Oakley will be joining us soon. He and his mum are not here yet. They are still at the other farm being taken care of until they are both strong enough to be able to get into a horse float and come back here. Their new special little paddock has been built and we're looking forward to seeing him and his mum back here. With the rain and the warm weather, the grass in our paddocks has now started to grow, and in some areas it's getting quite long. So this week we had some more cows arrive to start to graze on that grass. They're quite little and they're still a little bit skittish, but they will soon settle in, and I'm sure that they will enjoy the water and grass in our paddock. One thing that I missed when I was away on holidays was all of the birds that we get here. We were in Japan and we were in the city and there was just no birds anywhere. So that was very different, and it was a pleasure to come back home and have the little blue wrens and willy wagtails and all of the parrots and other birds singing in the morning. The blue wrens have been visiting right up really close to my window, which is really quite special. They're probably my favourite bird, and the blue is so fantastic and beautiful. They're all around at the moment, which is really special. As I said just before, we went to Japan for our holiday. And a lot of what I ended up doing there had a real creative and crafty element to it, which obviously suits me down to the ground and was a really fun way to experience a different country and a different culture. Before we left, we had booked into a couple of courses, and then we also did a lot of exploring and walking around the city and just taking in all of the sights and sounds and places. I took so many pictures and I was really inspired. There's a real juxtaposition between old and traditional and new and modern, and there is so much to see and do, and I had a really wonderful time and have created some really great memories. The first creative course that we took was sushi making, and not just your regular traditional sushi, but with pictures inside it. So we made one with plum blossoms and one with a cartoon character. Both were challenging to make, and there were a lot of different steps to go through. Our teacher was fantastic. She taught us how to properly roll the rice out and get the seaweed to attach properly and to roll it so it was all beautiful and nice and neat. And amazingly, although we didn't think that we were going to be able to, it turned out fantastic. This is actually what I was able to make, going step by step through with our instructor. And it was also really delicious. The second class that I took was a traditional bookbinding class. We got to choose the fabric and the colours to make it our own special unique book. And we went through all of the steps to put it together. So first was weaving the pages together by hand, and then gluing it all together, and then creating the cover, and then putting that all together. And we got to see a real artisan at his craft using traditional methods and old tools, and it was really cool to be in his workshop and experience being able to create that by hand and have it now as a really wonderful souvenir. Here is the book that I made. I'm really proud of it. It's so beautiful. The inside I chose orange, and it's just blank pages inside. I haven't yet decided what I'm going to use this for. I want it to be something really special. So it might stay blank for a little while until I can come up with something that is going to be perfect for putting inside such a beautiful book. Another slightly crafty souvenir that I bought for myself was an apron, and it's in the traditional style that we were wearing when we made our sushi. And this caught my eye, and it's totally me, the colours. It's beautiful purple with flowers, and even like the detail it's got inside the trim, it has flowers. And at the back, it's like sort of almost like a pinafore. You could probably wear it as a dress if you had something underneath. It's got buttons at the back. I'm looking forward to wearing it when I'm dyeing yarn. It's got big pockets at the front, so it'll be really practical and also pretty and remind me of the inspiration that I got while I was on my holiday. Well, and of course I had to track down some yarn stores. I had done some research before we left, but just with our wandering around and where we were located, I didn't end up going to the yarn stores that I thought I might go to. The first yarn store we found was actually by accident. We were just walking around on the first day through some of the malls near where we were staying, and we just came across this store, and I hadn't even heard of the name or been able to find it online before that. So here is the store, a cute little bag. So from here I got this one and this one. I have no idea what I'm going to do with either of these. They were just really pretty and quite unique, and as they're made in Japan, I thought I definitely had to get them as souvenirs. And then in that same wandering through the malls, we went into a bookstore, and I just asked for knitting books, because all the books in the store looked exactly the same. They just had a white spine with characters down it. There was no, they weren't set up so you could see the pictures or anything like that. And I had a few to choose from. I chose this one. I have no idea if I'm actually going to be able to knit anything from it. Of course, it's all in Japanese, all the instructions, but all of the patterns are charted. So if I can get over some of the key information at the top, maybe I'll be able to piece together enough to be able to knit. If not, it's just a beautiful coffee table book. There are so many patterns in here. They're just really beautiful. The second yarn store we visited was a planned visit after a little bit of research once we kind of knew the areas that we were going to be in. It was a gorgeous little shop. It had a floor area. It was beautifully arranged with lovely colours, and then it had a little upstairs area which was for weaving and spinning classes. It would have been lovely to have perhaps done a class there, but obviously it was a last minute once we were there kind of thing, so there was nothing on at the time. So I got myself some souvenir yarn from there, of course. I got one skein of this. I'll put all the details for the shop in the description box below. There's this one, which I think is a 10 ply, and it's a tweed with blue with pink and yellow pops throughout it. This is actually the name of the shop, and all of the yarn in the shop was exclusively made for them. So this was really quite special, I think. Then I chose a sweater's worth of yarn. It's a sport weight 5 ply, beautiful green, but it's sort of got a different colour in it, sort of a tweedy colour underneath. And I bought a contrast skein of purple to go with that. The same. So that will be a jumper at some point. I just need to figure out which pattern. Something special. Again, a beautiful reminder of my holiday. Well, that's it for another week. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you're enjoying these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and look forward to seeing you next week on the farm. Bye.